When you find the origin of a disease,
origins,
yeah, how does that determine treatment?
Right.
I mean, let's go back to stress or the patient you talked about that was abused as a child. How do you focus on that and find a treatment based on things like that?
All right. Well, luckily, I have a beautiful live laboratory in my office with an amazing team of people. Everybody has special gifts and talents. So I tell people I'm pretty much their quarterback, and I'm their quarterback to, you know, get them launched to where I think needs to be. So as I said, first a really good history, physical, and a very good blood test, because you've got to make sure that people, everyone's different, every individual's an original, and so I want to make sure that is all working, because just because you're 25 years old doesn't mean you can't have problems.
Sure.
Okay, so a lot of doctors go, you're 25, you're, you know, no big deal. You know, I never ever think that. I always think they're 25. Who knows what we'll find? If you don't look, you will not find. So then I study everything that's out there, and I want to streamline for the patient so it is not so overwhelming, so suffering, so difficult for them to do. So I have a nutritionist that sits down and teaches the patients how to eat. And there is no one size eating way. Like, not everybody goes on ketogenic, not everybody goes on a raw food, not everybody goes on a juice fast. No, there are some commonalities, but you need to meet the patient where they are, not what you think or where you are. So we meet the patient where they are. It depends, because everybody's on a different thing, and then you've got to teach them information incites transformation. So once the patient has the information and the legitimacy of the information, then that incites them to transform themselves. And then emotionally, what I have found, I have a couple people in my practice. One of my staff does something called EVOX, which I talk about in the book. Vox is the Latin word for voice. Now, a lot of time over the years, people have used psychologists, counselors, all those kind of things. Those are great. There's nothing wrong with sitting down and talking to someone about what's going on in their life, but we need results fast for these people. People have cancer, or people have some other, we need results right now, because I believe there's an emotional component to even a cold. And so we need to deal with that. So the EVOX, what it does is you can start talking about anything. You can just say your name, and your brain is patterned on the computer, and it will tell the practitioner where the defect is, or where the fault, or where the weakness, whatever you want to look at, or where the pattern of the brain that needs help. And then the practitioner will reframe that unfavorable perception. The beautiful thing, it's very inexpensive, and it doesn't take a lot of time. I had one of my patients in Florida. I was doing a Skype with her, and she goes, Dr. Connealy, you told me to do that. I went once, because I tell people it takes 1 to 5 times depending upon everyone. Everyone's different. And she said, Dr. Connealy, after one time, she said everything was beautiful after one time, and I said, that's magnificent. And so then I have another person who does something called recall healing, or the work of hammer that I was talking about. And basically what it goes back to, basically a mathematical analysis of all your family members. And then you uncover that emotional conflict that you may not even know. Because let's face it, when we grew up, I mean, I'm over 60 years of age, you didn't talk about emotion. You didn't talk about like stress. You didn't talk about a problem. It was just like, you just muscled through everything, all right? And in some ways that's good, and in some ways it's not good. But today, we are in this century of information. Oh my goodness, all the possibilities of life are out there for everyone. And a lot of it doesn't cost a lot of money. A lot of it's very complimentary and free. So I encourage people to, you know, go on Dr. Google and learn, because if you hear things, if you go to sites and they kind of say the same thing, we all need to clean up, we all need to detox, we all need to, I mean, if a lot of people are saying the same thing, it may be half true, okay? I know a lot of people don't trust don't trust a lot of times the computer. But I think about how I grew up in Encyclopedia Britannica, and now you have all these different viewpoints, and what we were all given is an intuition and a gut level feel. Does this sound right? If someone's going to say, oh, well, you know what, let's just schedule surgery next week and let's just do chemo and radiation and you're just going to be fine. Well, I know that just jumping into surgery, let's say the patient wants to have facial plastic surgery. I go, well, I tell my patients, are you ready for that? Are you sure that's what you want to do? But let's prepare your body for this elective procedure. So if I have a patient that's going to have surgery, let's say cancer surgery, and you know, you want to make sure the body is very prepared to handle the injurious, immunological, emotionally compromising procedure. Because how are they going to heal? Significantly better. What's the experience going to be? Significantly better. How is the fear going to be? Greatly diminished. You see? So we are not caring for our patients. We're just robotically looking at a patient and giving a prescription. Instead of saying, well, let me get to know you. Maybe we can fix this without a lot of interventions, without a lot of medications, without a lot of... I know I have patients who fix their cancer with just making a few little changes and shrunk their tumor. So unfortunately, cancer is a wake-up call for people to make, you know, to finally do 100% laser focus on their life. What I would love to do, and I think about it almost every day, is like, how can I awaken humanity without a crisis, without a diagnosis? How can we just teach people how to love themselves and how to be healthy, that there's actually a process to this. Now, fortunately, I grew up with a mother who, you know, we ate bone marrow broth, and we ate sauerkraut, and we ate liver, and we ate because she followed a very famous nutritionist at the time. And my mother breastfed us. She never used a jar of baby food. So I grew up like that. So fortunately, I had that exposure. But the vast majority of the population's eating Cheerios, cornflakes, and, you know, Cocoa Puffs and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So they're basically just eating sugar all day. But we still didn't have the cancer rates. If you look about things, you know, if you look at things 30, 40 years ago, well, I've been practicing 31 years, and we did not have, I mean, practicing medicine was easy and fun and happy. Now it's become this outrageously serious situation because most people, unfortunately, are sick. Now, yes, I do have patients come to me, but they're living and embracing a lifestyle that is healthy for them. I had a guy come in, 83, the other day, and I knew him because he was the husband to one of my patients. And so he came in, he says, Dr. Kim, I'm 83, I play softball every day, I do not take one medicine, and I do this, this, and this, and this to be healthy. And so, like, that can be done. He says, I run around the bases like a 30-year-old. And so, but he's made that choice and made that decision. But why can't we influence people in a powerful way right this second? I mean, literally right this second. I've been saying we've been in an emergency for like 15 years, okay? I mean, I've been telling people about plastics for 20 years. 20 years I've been. Okay, now it's like everywhere. Okay, plastics, you know, are destroying the ocean, they're destroying the fish and everything. But why does it take a diagnosis of cancer and or a heart attack to awaken people to change? We've got to try to influence them to change now that it's going to be definitely worth it.